Bullying in schools is a tragic experience that dates back many years, not just now. While the topic has received a lot of media attention recently, there is no disputing that things were much worse in the past. Even several well-known athletes themselves have experienced bullying in the past. Who are the popular athletes that have spoken up about being bullied in school? Keep watching to find out. First up, what did Shaquille O'Neal say about how he was bullied in school? An important setting for a child's growth is school. We gain knowledge about how to mature, exist in society, and overcome challenges. While some people assert that their time in school was their favorite, the majority of others disagree. Kids are cruel. Let's face it, they frequently speak without thinking things through and utter whatever comes to their mind. The bad kids would notice when you were a young child having problems of any type and would make fun of you for it. Shaquille O'Neal's case was no different from the others. Shaq struggled to avoid bullying, despite becoming 6 feet tall before turning 12 years old. At one point, things became so terrible that Shaq began to seriously struggle with his self-esteem and had doubts about everything. Shaquille O'Neal stood apart from other kids his age as he was growing up. He got significantly taller and was much larger than the others. Kids, being the vicious creatures they are, chose to make fun of that. Shaq talked about experiencing bullying in school during an interview with Graham Bensinger. Having these image problems ingrained in your mind from an early age can be a lifelong problem that is very challenging to overcome. Thankfully, the huge guy discovered a workaround and went on to become one of the best basketball players in NBA history. Which other popular athletes have spoken about being bullied in school? First on this list is Adonal Foyle. Foyle is a popular NBA star. Bullying has a harmful influence, according to the athlete who experienced some of it as a child. At 6 feet tall and 270 pounds, the NBA player is a large man. He was a great blocker and player overall when he concluded his career. Foyle talked about how, as a thin kid, he had experienced bullying. Each time he sought to share his ideas, he received jeers, both in person and in online social circles. He continued by saying that he constantly lacked coordination and that he frequently encountered intimidation. Foyle discussed on his website about his experiences with bullying as a child and how those experiences have had an impression on him to this day. Secondly, we have John Cena. It's incredible that not even John Cena was immune to bullying when he was younger. World-class wrestler John Cena is one of the all-time greats of the WWE. The WWE star discussed his personal experience with intimidation and its detrimental effects. Massachusetts is where Cena was born and raised. He was teased since he was raised in a place where his taste wasn't accepted. He asserted that experiencing kid terrorization wasn't pleasant, which prompted him to fight against it. Cena is now active in a number of groups that combat the bullying of children. He presently participates in the well-known Be a Star anti-bullying initiative. Young people are inspired by him to remain positive despite difficulties. Drew Brees is third on this list. One of the most well-known quarterbacks in the NFL is Drew Brees. When he was a child, he experienced child terrorization firsthand. On the right side of Brees' face, there's a birthmark, and that was what he was harassed about. He claimed that he received a variety of unfavorable remarks regarding his birthmark. They would criticize him harshly. Because of what people are saying about him, he would lack the courage to stick around. He is confident that his former bullies won't say much about him now that he is a famous person. Next, we have Tiger Woods. Even the legendary Tiger Woods, a golfer, was subject to child terrorization. The golfer talked about his early life and the experiences it brought him. Being a black man, Woods experienced bullying. He claimed that as a black person, people wouldn't be friendly to him. As he grew up, this nearly destroyed his self-confidence. He had no idea what it would be like to be intimidated all the way into adulthood. Woods is still regarded as one of the greatest golfers in history, despite having suffered a career setback. Being the best player, he has won 79 tours, and it's very likely that his intimidators are now silent as a result of his victories. Next, we have Georges St-Pierre. Georges St-Pierre is a former professional mixed martial artist. He was regarded as the best mixed martial artist in the welterweight division and has accomplished a lot. When Georges was younger, he also faced intimidation. The Canadian powerhouse revealed his experience on his website, where he claimed that he was constantly attacked. He talked about how his possessions were taken from him at school. He claimed that even his trousers and lunch money will be taken away. And it always happened in front of a bunch of people who were making fun of him. Today, Georges is a shining example of achievement and a positive role model for young people facing similar difficulties. Sixth on this list is Eve Torres. Eve Torres is one of the many female athletes who experienced cyberbullying when she was in school. The athlete is a WWE diva who has made a name for herself in the world of professional wrestling. She has acknowledged experiencing both offline and online bullying. Despite her professional success, she claimed that she went through the experiences in high school and the first few years of college. Today, Torres, who is worth millions of dollars, is incredibly popular. The Boston-born woman is the black belt Rener Gracie's wife. Her victory has put an end to her intimidation. Next, we have Junior Dos Santos. Shockingly, the UFC champion had a history of being bullied as a child. One of the UFC's top fighters and well-known athletes in general is Junior Dos Santos. Who would have thought that the notorious Santos could be intimidated? His current achievement demonstrates that he wasn't let down by the difficulties he had growing up. The sportsman described how he was mistreated as a child and how it affected him. Bullies allegedly beat him up 3 times, and they reportedly posted about it online. Today, none of his villains can be discovered. We are now halfway through the list of athletes who were bullied as kids. Wayne Gretzky is 8th on the list. One of the best hockey players of all time is Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky is regarded as the greatest hockey player and is often referred to as the Great One. As with many others, Gretzky experienced bullying as a child. Compared to the many adults surrounding him, he was a little boy. Because of his age and size, he was routinely bullied. The reality was much worse than what had been reported in class groups. He remarked that the event had never been pleasant for him and that he has had trouble letting go of the memories of it. We can assume that his detractors are keeping quiet, given the height he has now. Next, we have Michael Phelps. Swimming marvel Michael Phelps is the most decorated Olympian of all time, surpassing even his fellow Olympic wonder Usain Bolt, with a whopping 28 medals across a variety of events. But even before he became known as a superstar athlete, he experienced bullying. Phelps claims that he has endured constant bullying because of his large ears and, ironically, the same long arms that have helped him become one of the greatest athletes of all time. The 10th on this list is Dave Schultz. The most productive years of Dave Schultz's NHL career were spent with the Philadelphia Flyers. He is still the NHL player with the most penalty minutes in a season, years after he retired, and he is still regarded as one of the league's greatest enforcers. To put it simply, Schultz was not the type of player you wanted to play against, but the renowned tough guy says that he endured horrific bullying as a child in his modest Saskatchewan community. As a result, he spends a large portion of his retirement throwing down the gauntlet against bullying. Next on this list is Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey endured bullying before she was a medal-winning Olympian, the first female UFC bantamweight champion, and one of the biggest names in modern sports. The undeniable toughest woman on earth experienced all manner of bullying connected to her weight fight in schoolyards, just like so many other kids. Unsurprisingly, today's bullies are no longer around, having been replaced with millions of cash, a glistening gold belt, and even more supporters. Miss Rousey has undoubtedly silenced her tormentors, since success is the best form of retaliation. Hey, if not, she can always break their arms. Sheamus is next on the list. Before becoming a 6'6", 270-pound WWE superstar and the inventor of the brogue kick, Stephen Farrelly, better known as Sheamus, was just another overweight kid in Dublin. The Celtic warrior admitted to being little for his age and a little overweight in an interview with the Ottawa Sun. He stated that he endured quite a bit of abuse. Sheamus then put a lot of work into stopping bullying and joined a number of illustrious anti-bullying programs. Next, we have Gerald Green. Gerald Green lost a finger on his right hand as a child due to a severe injury. He had to endure taunts and sarcasm throughout his childhood as a result. He revealed that kids referred to him by all names. Growing up, he heard a variety of names, including Alien Hand. At Loma Linda Elementary School in Phoenix, he addressed a group of pupils and said that he had a hard time with it because he remembers feeling so strange and not wanting to go to school. Green has spent a lot of his time working on anti-bullying projects. Lastly, we have Mike Tyson. If the bullies of Santos were crazy, then the bullies of Tyson were lunatics. Nobody could have predicted that the muscular Tyson would have ever felt intimidated. He did, however, express what he had gone through growing up. In actuality, this had a part in his current status as a fighter. He described how a bully had taken his pet pigeon, and when he pleaded for his pet back, the bully hurled the bird at him dead. Today, Tyson is one of the best boxers and a successful athlete, like the other sports figures mentioned. That brings us to the end of today's video. There are many other athletes that were bullied in school. Which of these athletes' bully stories were you previously aware of? Let us know in the comment section. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.